come here, and it's one of the best places to see wolves in Alaska. But unlike Chignik Lake, there have been no fatal attacks. Why? I think Denali will hold the answers I'm looking for.
You only have to get up a little ways in a helicopter to realise that the signs of man in this part of the world is negligible. Few buildings, few roads. Other than that, it is just trees, rivers, mountains. It's easy to appreciate that Alaska is one of the world's great wildernesses. It does your heart good just to fly over somewhere like this and not to see people. Wolves can live in this environment year-round with nothing other than their cunning and the coats on their backs. They'll go to wherever they can find food. So down here we've got caribou, we've got sheep, and wherever you find those animals, you stand a chance of finding wolves.
I'm heading deep into the park for the night, away from the roads, away from any other people. I'll be alone in the wild. I want to know if the wolves will seek me out, and how will I feel if they do?
When you're out in the open, there's no real problem, but I think heading into this thick stuff, you start getting a little bit nervous, but I'm hoping that I'm making enough noise as I walk along to scare off any animals that might be hiding in here. This is quite interesting. We've got sign of predator and prey in exactly the same spot. We've got moose droppings and we've got wolf scat, old and dry. So this is the first clear sign that I've actually seen of wolves out here.
So there are wolves around. I haven't seen them, but they will know I'm here. And it's not just wolves.
Just about 100 metres from where I'm going to spend the night are 2 grizzly bears.
I want to let them know I'm here, and then they should keep their distance.
Hey bear! Hey bear!
Don't seem too phased.
Nothing I do deters the bears. They make steady progress towards my tent. It's great to be away from all signs of man, but as night approaches, I'm beginning to wonder if I'm doing the right thing.
Things have gone from bad to worse. Find a nice place to camp at night time, and I find 2 grizzly bears walking right towards me and disappear into the brush, and it starts pouring down. Probably very little chance that I'm going to get much sleep because the bears didn't seem to move away, and I would say a reasonable chance that the bears are going to come up and check out my camp. So yeah, I think it's going to be quite an interesting night.
In the morning, I discover something came closer than the bears. A wolf.
At some point through the night, a wolf has walked through here. It's hard to say how recent it is, but it could even be within the last half hour. See, you've got the scat here, and he's scraped the ground here with his back legs. The wolf that walked along this path would have absolutely have known that I was there. Their sense of smell, sense of hearing is much better than mine. This is an animal that certainly doesn't see me as food and doesn't associate human beings with food. Just carried on walking along his path, looking for his next meal.
The wolf came right by my camp, and even though the tent offered no real protection, the wolf left me alone. I think Jack is right. Under normal circumstances, wolves stay away from man. spend hours, days, driving the road but see no wolves. They seem reclusive, but maybe it's something more. The man to talk to is Tom Meyer, who's studied the Denali wolves for more than 14 years.
Denali was sort of the place where the idea of protecting the predators was invented. So all the parks in the lower 48 states had their wolves eliminated. And it was finally when they got around to figuring out how to manage wolves in Denali, they suddenly realized that maybe we have another strategy here.
The strategy? To keep wolves and people apart. There's only one road through the park, and when the wolves are denning, the areas around the dens are closed to hikers. You must stay at least 20 meters away from a wolf. And you must never feed one. And if a wolf does come too close, well, the park has an effective way of making sure that wolf won't want to be near people again. Pat, Owen and her team are responsible for keeping bold animals at bay in Denali. And they sometimes use paintballs.
They're filled with a pink paint. The other options that we have are clear ones and the hard rubber ball.
Okay, so what kind of situations do you get called out for?
Where they're just too bold, they're very interested in human things, whether it's bicycles or tents or any number of things, just making very close approaches, then we'll go in and take some management action. And the idea is you give them a hit with one of these and it's an unpleasant experience, and they learn that being close to people means it hurts.
Aversion therapy.
Exactly.
It's like crowd control. It's like the wolf equivalent of rubber bullets.
And as a matter of fact, these two, that's what they're made for. Right. The clear ones and the rubber ones are actually made for crowd control.
Okay. And it seems to work?
It does seem to work.
I can imagine it. I can imagine it does.
Yes.
Okay, I've got hit it first time. Oh, rubbish. Oh, no.
Oh, good shot. You must have gotten a clear one. It looked like.
So why is it so important that wolves are kept away from people?
Even though, you know, probably more than 99% of the time, they're not dangerous. They are powerful animals, and there are reports all around the world of wolves causing injury to people, killing people. We just don't want that to happen. We want to lessen the potential that that could ever happen here, and that separation between wolves and people is the way that we do it.
Yeah. Any wolf that's been hit by a paintball is going to change its behavior.
That's our hope.
Some might think they go to extreme lengths here to keep wolves away from man. But if wolves have a healthy fear of humans and don't associate people with food, then they won't become a threat.
Here they've been closing the areas around these dens for 40 or 50 years because of the potential for people interfering. But I think anytime you have wolves around people, somebody else sooner or later throw something. You know,
Yeah.
Throw them a hot dog.
Was someone in Chignik Lake feeding the wolves? Or were the wolves finding food near the village and that was drawing them in? Could the answer be at the Chignik dump? My camera traps caught a bear here. What was it the bears were after? And was it enough to bring in the wolves that killed Candace?
Oh, yeah, you can see this is all the kind of recent unburnt stuff. Food stuff as well. There's cans, some vegetables, pizza boxes. Bears aren't fussy eaters. Just the smell of any of this food will bring them down here. And if there's a smell of any kind of meat or fish, that's going to bring in wolves as well. This is only a quarter of a mile from where Candice was killed. And could it be that the wolves that attacked her had been here, had been hanging around, starving, really desperate, looking for something to eat?
Now that I'm out looking for what might attract a hungry wolf, I notice another food source here. Dogs. Dogs are well known to be easy pickings for wolves. So the wolves may have been drawn in by the dump and the numerous dogs. But many people around Chignik saw the wolves and they were left alone. Something made Candace the victim. I'm going to meet the survivor of another wolf encounter to find the answer.
I'm on my way to meet a woman who was out jogging in a forested military base in the outskirts of Anchorage. She was chased by a pack of wolves. There are a lot of similarities between this lady's story and Candice Berner's story.
I'm hoping that Alicia's experience may help me finally understand what led the Chignik wolves to attack Candace. Why did Alicia survive when Candace died?
Well, we did know there was a problem due to a couple weeks before there was a dog taken by a wolf.
So had it been killed and eaten?
Yes.
And so that day, did you have your dogs with you?
Well, when we went running, I had 2 other girlfriends of mine with me and 3 dogs total. It was my girlfriend and I up front and another girlfriend right behind us. And I looked and there was a wolf probably like 3 feet from her leg.
Whoa.
So as I turned and screamed wolf, she turned and you panned like 10 more a couple yards away.
10 more wolves?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
And a whole pack. And then she screamed literally bloody murder. That's one thing I still remember is it came from here and it went from her toes. She just collapsed as she said it.
What are the dogs doing at this time? Are they actually confronting the wolf?
He was just barking. And all that time, we were just screaming at the wolves. We'd end up taking turns. We were so out of breath and, adrenaline and walking backwards, keeping our faces to them. Every time we would turn to go faster, they'd come up on us faster. They're circling us, and you're howling.
So how long do you think they were actually with you?
I want to say 15, 20 minutes, or maybe. And 2 of them stayed and watched us make it to the car.
So that's incredibly bold for them all to come up and, that's not...
Well, they had their one main leader, which I'll remember forever. Black with yellow eyes. I will remember that one.
Like Candace, Alicia and her friends' actions may have accidentally drawn the wolves' attention.
You were all running. You were running.
Yeah.
Friends were running. Dogs were running.
Yep.
Because it's that thing that's sort of the chase response when wolves see an animal moving fast, especially if somebody doesn't know that they're there, they just keep this chase up just as an instinctive thing. There's a lot of similarities between Elisa's story and the story that Candice Berner might have told had she survived her encounter with wolves. He was somebody running in a fairly wild area that was approached by very bold wolves.
In both incidents, wolves may have been attracted to the area because of dogs, but they didn't attack Alicia.
I think the big difference in Alicia's story was that she saw the wolves and did the right thing. They stopped and they confronted the wolves. And sadly for Candace, she probably didn't know the wolves were there until they were actually literally nipping at her heels.
So what tragically sealed Candace's fate is possibly that she kept running. She was wearing headphones. She didn't hear them coming. And the wolves' predatory chase instinct kicked in. But I've also realised there's a wider and more menacing issue here. There was nothing to stop the wolves attacking and killing Candice Berner because they, unlike the Denali wolves, were not afraid of man.
The most startling similarity between Elisa's story, Candice Berner's story, every single account of wolves confronting people in Alaska is that the wolves involved have lost their fear of human beings.
The Chignik Lake wolves were possibly starving. They were in and around the village looking for food, seeing people more and more often, and getting used to them. Habituation, it seems, could be the most dangerous element of all. I want to know Jack's take on it. I think this habituation may have been partly caused by man. Has overhunting of prime bulls for trophies affected the breeding success of Alaskan caribou? To such an extent that wolves now have to adapt to find new sources of food.
If their prey base has declined, like near Chignik, the Alaska Peninsula herds, the North and South Peninsula caribou herds have crashed from reproductive failure. And if wolves are more reliant on scavenging, and especially in the winter time when there's no salmon runs, there's nothing really going on, they may move to dump areas. They may be more reliant on scavenging. They may be habituated to humans and may actually occasionally have an aggressive act towards a human.
If the natural balance has been thrown out, then this rare occurrence, this tragic event, may be a glimpse into the future. A glimpse of the conflict that could lie ahead.